It was the coldest dawn the village of Ogudu had seen in weeks. Mist curled through the thatched compounds like fingers searching for truth. Roosters crowed late. A distant mosque crackled to life. And on a quiet stretch of red earth road, a baby's cries pierced the silence like judgment. Mama Uzo was sweeping the front of her clay compound when she heard it. A thin wail, desperate and strange. She paused. Her broom froze mid-air. Then she saw him, a baby, wrapped in nothing but a torn wrapper, placed gently but nervously at the corner of her doorstep, as if the mother had wanted to love him, but couldn't afford to stay. His cheeks were swollen with tears, his tiny fist curled like he was still holding on to whoever had left him. Mama Uzo gasped. Jesu, who would do this? She bent down slowly. Her hands trembled as she picked him up, pressing his shivering body against her faded blouse. There was no note, no name, just that cry. She looked around, but the street was empty. Whoever had birthed this child was gone, but fate had only just begun her game. It all started 10 years ago. A 17-year-old girl stood by a riverbank, clutching her stomach and weeping silently. Her name was Ishoma, a final year secondary school student, beautiful, brilliant, bound for university. Until the unthinkable happened. She had fallen in love with a boy who promised forever. But forever ended the moment she missed her period. Her mother had slapped her so hard she tasted blood. Her father didn't even look at her again. The family name was now stained. Her dreams vanished. And now the pain of labor had dragged her out of the village to the bush path where nobody could hear. Under a mango tree, she birthed a son, alone, in silence. But when the baby cried, when she looked into his eyes, a strange thing happened. She felt nothing. Not love, not hate, just fear. I'm sorry, she whispered. I can't. I'm not ready. With trembling hands, she wrapped him in an old wrapper. Her school uniform was soaked in blood and shame. She walked for an hour to the next village, found a house with soft eyes, a widow who sold pap and plantain. She laid the child by the door and knocked once. Then she ran. She never looked back. Years passed. The baby left on Mama Uzo's doorstep grew into a bright, inquisitive boy with eyes too big for his small face and a curiosity that never slept. She named him Chibundu, which means God is my own portion. Chibundu helped her fetch water, sell firewood, and carry pap to the market. But more than anything, he asked questions. Mama, why don't I look like you? Why don't I have a photograph from when I was small? Why do the other boys say I'm a market child? Mama Uzo would smile, wipe her hands on her wrapper, and reply softly, because your story is special, my Pekin. You didn't come from my womb, you came from my heart. He would nod, but the ache in his chest would return whenever he saw fathers patting their sons or girls giggling with their mothers at the tailor's kiosk. Still, he was a kind boy, always first to carry the chair for elders in church, always defending classmates when bullies struck. Na that Chibundu boy get mind, the women at the well would whisper. Even if na orphan, the boy gets light. But Chibundu didn't want to be anyone's charity case. He just wanted to know who he really was. In Lagos, Isioma now goes by the name Bella. She wore heels, carried designer knockoffs, and worked as a receptionist in a dental clinic. Nobody knew about the village or the baby or the pain. She had scrubbed her past like a stain she never wanted seen again. Yet sometimes at night, when the compound was quiet and the ceiling fan whirred like a distant memory, she would hear a baby crying, except there was no baby, just her guilt whispering, whispering. She dated a few men, avoided serious love, told everyone she was an only child. She even joined the women's fellowship, not to pray, but to disappear in worship songs no one could question. Until one Saturday, her clinic sent her to Ogudu, the village she had once run from. They were doing free dental outreach in rural communities. "I can't go," she said quickly. The matron frowned. "Why not?" "Ah, I just can't." But rules were rules, and fate, as always, had her own map. The outreach in Ogudu was simple: cleanings, checkups, pain relief. Bella wore sunglasses and a clinic-branded shirt. She didn't think anyone would recognize her. It had been over 10 years. She kept her head down, focused on her clipboard, but the moment her feet touched Ogudu soil, something shifted. She passed the mango tree where she once gave birth. Her hands trembled. At the outreach center, a local school, villagers queued for free care. Women with babies, old men with missing teeth, school children in torn uniforms. Then she saw him, a boy about 10, tall for his age, helping an elderly woman walk across the dusty yard. His shirt had a small rip near the sleeve. His eyes, wide, searching, felt familiar. Bella looked again. Her heart skipped. He was smiling even as he carried a bucket and comforted a baby that wasn't his. Something about the way he spoke, the shape of his mouth, the ears. No, it couldn't be. She turned away, fast. Later that afternoon, he approached her at the clinic table. "Auntie, you fine oh," he said innocently. "You be like person wey I don see before." Bella smiled tightly, scribbling notes. "I doubt that. I don't live here." "You want pure water?" he offered. "Na my mama dey sell am." "Who's your mama?" she asked before she could stop herself. He pointed. "Mama Uzo." Bella's pen dropped. That night, Bella couldn't sleep. She lay on a camp mattress in the missionary guest house, staring at the ceiling fan. The boy, the ears, the timing. She got up, walked outside, and found herself near the small wooden gate of Mama Uzo's compound. She stood there, frozen, until the woman came out holding a lantern. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then Mama Uzo sighed. "I wondered how long till you came." Bella's voice was barely a whisper. "Is he—" "Yes," Mama Uzo replied. Tears welled up. "Why didn't you try to find me?" Mama Uzo stepped forward. Her face was calm, but fierce. "You left him, like a letter you didn't want to read." Bella sank to her knees. "I was scared." "I know," Mama Uzo said gently. "But fear doesn't raise children. Love does." Bella wept. "Does he know?" "No, and I'm not sure he needs to. Not yet." The lantern flickered. The night was quiet. "I want to be around," Bella whispered. Mama Uzo nodded slowly. "Then you start by showing up, not as his mother, but as someone who cares." It happened during the football match. The village school was playing against another local team. Chibundu was their star midfielder, fast, clever, always smiling. Bella had stayed behind after the outreach. She told herself it was because the clinic needed follow-up reports, but the truth was Chibundu. She had started buying bananas from him, asking about his school, sitting beside Mama Uzo's stall, listening to his laughter as if it could stitch her soul back together. She never said it out loud, but inside she whispered daily, "That's my son." That Saturday she sat in the crowd, clapping with the others. Pride swelling, regret mixing with joy. Then a scream. Chibundu had fallen, a rough tackle. He wasn't moving. Bella dropped everything and ran. In the commotion, she cradled his head on her lap. "Breathe, breathe, my son." Mama Uzo froze. The words echoed, "My son." Chibundu's eyes fluttered open. He saw her face, and for the first time, something clicked in his gaze. "Why did you say that?" Bella blinked. The world slowed. The crowd watched. The coach called for help. But in that moment, a decade of silence crashed open. It took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of hospital visits, of quiet meals, of hard truths. Chibundu didn't speak much at first. Then he asked the one question Bella feared most. "Why didn't you want me?" Her hands shook. "I did," she said. "But I was young, ashamed. I thought letting you go would help us both." He looked away. "Did you ever come looking? I couldn't face what I did, but every day since, I saw your eyes in my dreams. I hated you," Chibundu said quietly, "for a while. But I also prayed that you were okay." Bella broke. She sobbed in front of him, in the hospital ward, in front of nurses and strangers. He wiped her tears. "Can we start again?" Bella said softly. Chibundu smiled faintly. "Only if you can carry my football bag to school." They both laughed.
Motherhood isn't just about giving birth. It's about showing up. It's sacrifice, it's courage, it's love. Bella ran from her past and abandoned her newborn child, but she chose to return. The real question is, what would you have done if you are in Bella's place? We would like to know. Tell us in the comments below. Like and share this story. Someone out there needs this reminder today.
Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out when we drop the next video.